Episode 4 of Paradise Season 2 begins with Link dreaming of a bearded version of Xavier, walking behind him in what looks like a steel underground passage. When he awakens, he and his team get ready for the last leg of travel to Colorado. Now back at Graceland, Xavier is finally properly conscious, after last episode where he was in and out of consciousness for most of the chapter. The show then dives into a flashback to 3 years ago. Now Cal Bradford bursts into Sinatra's office, excited about the first baby to be born in the bunker to a woman named Luisa Monero. She seems indifferent, but he feels this can provide hope to their people. Now back in the present, Annie tells Xavier he will need 2 weeks to recover before he goes out and about. She also insists that he take her to Colorado. Now over the next few days, he grows stronger and makes it clear to Annie that his priority is finding his wife. She offers to help find his wife in Atlanta if he will then take her to her baby's father in Colorado. He then agrees. When Xavier's not around, Annie spends time checking her blood pressure and she looks rather worried. Eventually the pair pack up and head out. At their first rest stop, Link's ID card falls out of Annie's pocket and Xavier recognises him from his dream. He confesses to having dreams that feel more like memories of things that haven't happened yet. The next day they come across a wagon filled with travellers and the atmosphere is tense as they cross paths. Now Annie warns Xavier not to say anything, but he insists on greeting them, only getting harsh stares in return. The pair take a break at an empty waffle place where Xavier shows Annie how to swaddle a baby. Xavier tries to encourage Annie to believe in the best of people and to look forward to the joy of having a child. He calls it a holy charge. Now the next morning, Annie's water breaks just as they're about to head out. She admits to Xavier that she has a condition called preeclampsia, which means her blood pressure is abnormally high. She asks him for supplies to help deliver the baby, but the empty waffle store doesn't have anything they can use. Now in the flashback, Cal visits Luisa, who is getting ready for the birth. Sometime later, the baby's heart rate drops and Luisa is rushed to the OR. Cal goes inside to give her some emotional support, with Xavier in tow. Now Cal holds Luisa's hand and tells her a story about how resilient babies are in order to try and encourage her. Now Xavier decides to go and get help from the people they saw earlier. Annie begs him not to go, but he seems confident that he will get the help he needs. He runs over to the nearest farmhouse, but nobody seems to be inside. He starts looking for supplies, but gets ambushed by 2 men with guns. But the next thing we know, he's back at the waffle shop along with the people from the farmhouse. It turns out they're actually here to help. We then see scenes from the present and the past intercut with one another as the 2 women give birth to their babies. In the end, both babies are born healthy. However, Annie continues to bleed a lot. She confesses that she knew this would happen and gives Xavier a letter for her baby girl when she's old enough. She asks Xavier to get her to her father in Colorado and to make sure she's not afraid of people. She then passes on the holy charge. Xavier holds on to Annie as she passes away and then buries her with the help of the people at the farmhouse. One of the women offers to keep the baby and give it a home, but Xavier is adamant on keeping his promise. The woman tells him about how a previous volcanic eruption, centuries ago, had decreased the human population to about 1,000 people. They're all now descendants of those 1,000 people, and she says they have forgotten how close they all are. A few days later, Xavier heads out on the horse with the baby strapped to its front. In the flashback, Sinatra visits Luisa's house and congratulates her. They chat and Sinatra even looks after the baby for a while so that Luisa can get some sleep. She whispers to the boy that one day he will be able to look up at the real sky. Elsewhere, Link and his team make it to the border of the bunker at Colorado and hold up messages to the camera there demanding to speak to their leader. Meanwhile, Xavier arrives at the location of Terry's radio broadcast in Atlanta. There, he finds a man who claims to be Terry's best friend for the last 3 years and tells Xavier that she's been taken. So the first 3 episodes set things up quite nicely for Paradise Season 2, giving us new characters to root for while expanding on what's happening with the old ones. And episode 4 takes Xavier and Annie's story forward, but it's more clear than ever that the show has changed. It's no longer the tightly written mystery it was the first time around, with the stories of several characters unravelling around one incident. Paradise is now taking on the form of a sprawling post-apocalypse drama that leans heavily on the sci-fi, as made clear by the ominous dreams that Link and Xavier are experiencing. And Xavier is becoming eerily like Joel Miller from The Last of Us, complete with a charge of his own. This isn't a bad thing per se, and here's hoping he doesn't get smashed over the head with a golf club, but it does mean that Paradise will need to prove this change is worth sticking around for. Episode 4 does work well in that respect. It starts out a bit slow, sure, but it quickly ramps up, not the pace, but the emotion and the stakes involved. The sense of danger looming over Xavier and Annie, interspersed by a few sentimental moments between the two, is quite heartwarming to see, especially as Xavier was right to believe there are still good people around. The rest of the episode gets quite emotional and does all the right things to make you tear up. The music in particular plays a huge part here. Of course, there is the feeling that Annie's death came all too soon, and considering what a compelling performance Shailene Woodley offered to kick off this season, it might have made more sense to let her develop a longer relationship with Xavier. As for the flashback, it works as a complement to the main storyline, and is also a nice way to see more of Cal and Billy, who are both lovely people to have on screen. Sinatra's dialogues towards the end also reveal a little bit about her end goal for everybody, because she wants them to see the stars again, which doesn't sound so bad actually. So overall, the technical craft of the series continues to be one of its strongest elements, and here's hoping that the plot proves itself too. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.